I'm just going to do a little painting of water, but I'm going to focus in on the light play and the refraction of the light on the sand. What I've done here is I've done a gradation of colour to create the illusion of water getting slightly deeper. So now I'm going to put that wonderful sort of rolling flashes of colour that you get reflected on the sand as the light comes through the surface of the water. So this piece will be all about the refraction and not so much about the water. What I'm doing is I'm holding my brush very loosely between my two fingertips and I'm rolling it backwards and forwards, and I'm at the same time running my brush backwards and forwards. I'm creating these kind of loose triangles as the light refracts down onto the sand underneath. I go into this in a lot more detail in my water DVD, Water Fundamentals. So I've just put the base of these squiggly lines down, but I'm going to put a couple of little waves through here. So I'm going to start building up the impression of some waves coming through here and there. This is almost white, but I'm going to put some glazes over the top of this. So when a wave rears up to break, it casts a little bit of a shadow, so I'm just going to very lightly suggest that shadow. I'm going to put another one out here. A couple of little flecks here and there. In my water DVD I talk about all the different elements to create the illusion of water, and I'm going to now use the third and the fourth element, which is the surface of the water and the light reflected on it. And it's really easy to do with just a couple of little brush strokes. So I'm going to create the impression of the light behind the wave, or behind, reflected onto the surface of the water. If you can hear that, it's a very dry brush. I like to think of waves as being windows or mirrors. The back of the wave where it's flat is a mirror and will reflect the sky. The front of the wave is like a window. So I want these waves to have a little bit of depth and a little bit of volume. So I'm going to add a little bit of a colour with a dry brush to the tops of these waves here. And that will kind of thicken them up and create the illusion of there being a layer of water. So I want to brighten this image up a little bit, so I'm just going to drag a little bit of gold, this kind of greeny gold, into the fronts of this wave here, just to give it a bit of zing. This is part of the toing and froing process of making a painting. So I've lost a little bit of that beautiful refraction. So I'm just going to come back now and go straight back over the top of it. Put hints of that back in there. Just pops a bit more brighter colour into it. And again. For me, there's 4 elements that make up the appearance of water. And once you understand how they work in relation to one another, painting water's not so difficult. For more information on that, you can go to exploreacrylicpainting.com or watch this again.